Carlos Sainz is going to take a big decision. Should he join Audi or not? After thinking for a long time, if he decides against the German team's offer, and if it is confirmed, then Audi has their eyes on a Red Bull driver, Liam Lawson, who is currently the reserve driver for Red Bull Racing. Lawson made a strong impression last year by scoring points at the Italian Grand Prix while replacing the injured Daniel Ricciardo. With 5 Formula One starts to his name, the New Zealander has shown his potential, but he is still waiting for a real opportunity with a Red Bull team. Unfortunately, that opportunity may not come in 2025 either. Lawson's management told the Herald that they were unaware of Red Bull's intentions for the Kiwi, but expected to learn more by Formula One's upcoming mid-season break. The 22-year-old Kiwi impressed last year while deputizing for Ricciardo, who broke his hand at the Dutch Grand Prix. Over 5 races, Lawson performed admirably behind the wheel for AlphaTauri, outpacing Yuki Tsunoda in 4 of those races. One of his notable achievements was a 9th-place finish at the Singapore Grand Prix, where Lawson also eliminated Max Verstappen from qualifying, a feat no other Red Bull stablemate has been able to consistently achieve before and after. Lawson's 9th-place finish was AlphaTauri's best result of 2023 until Tsunoda managed 8th in Las Vegas in the season's penultimate race. Despite Lawson's impressive performance, Red Bull moved to sign both Ricciardo and Tsunoda for 2024 before Lawson could prove himself further. As a result, the Kiwi has been left without a seat and is filling a reserve role this year. Meanwhile, Lawson has made it clear that he would be prepared to leave the team to secure a full-time drive, but his first preference remains to stay with Red Bull, who have invested in him since he was a teenager. Given the substantial investment they have made in his development, Red Bull is understandably hesitant to lose Lawson. Red Bull has supported the Kiwi through various junior categories, including Formula 3, Formula 2, and the Japanese Super Formula Championship. This extensive backing underscores the team's commitment to Lawson's potential and their hope to see him succeed within the Red Bull Racing family. The Herald understands that Daniel Ricciardo is highly valued by Red Bull senior team principal Christian Horner, primarily due to his off-track value and marketability. This complicates Lawson's situation, as Ricciardo's presence within the team presents a significant barrier to Lawson securing a full-time drive. A key point of contention within Red Bull's leadership is whether Helmut Marko's stance on Lawson stepping into a Racing Bull's cockpit is shared by Horner. The two are understood to be at odds over the team's future direction and the best use of its driver resources. Marko has historically been a strong advocate for young talent, often pushing for the promotion of drivers from within Red Bull's extensive junior program. However, Horner's preference for retaining Ricciardo, who brings considerable experience and a strong fan base, may conflict with Marko's vision for Lawson's progression. This internal debate within Red Bull could significantly influence Lawson's career trajectory and determine whether he remains with the team or seeks opportunities elsewhere. Lawson in the mix at Audi, Red Bull still assessing. If Audi loses F1 race winners like Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly to rivals and opts not to keep either of its current drivers, Liam Lawson is known to be on the team's radar. However, his availability hinges on whether Red Bull decides to put him in Daniel Ricciardo's VCARB seat in 2025. The energy drinks company is in no hurry to make a decision as it monitors Ricciardo's form closely. Next month, Lawson will undergo a 2022 car test at Imola as part of the overall assessment. This test will provide critical insights into his performance and potential fit for a full-time drive. "We're acutely aware of all of the options," said RBR boss Christian Horner when asked by this writer about the situation. "So I guess over the summer break, we'll sit down and start to look at it. The more races we have, the more information, the more data we have, so we don't need to be in a rush." If Red Bull ultimately decides to stick with Ricciardo, then Lawson will, in theory, be available for Audi. This potential move could be a significant opportunity for Lawson, given Audi's ambitions in Formula One and their need for a competitive driver lineup. Audi's interest in Lawson is understandable, The young New Zealander has demonstrated his talent and potential during his stint with AlphaTauri, where he stepped in for the injured Ricciardo and delivered impressive performances, including a standout ninth-place finish at the Singapore Grand Prix. His ability to compete with and even outperform his teammates in a limited number of races has not gone unnoticed. For Audi, securing a driver like Lawson could be crucial as they look to establish themselves as a competitive force in F1. Lawson's youth, skill, and potential for growth make him an attractive prospect, especially if Audi aims to build a long-term project around a promising talent. If Liam Lawson doesn't secure the V-carb seat at Red Bull, he will eventually be contractually free to pursue opportunities elsewhere. However, sources indicate that this freedom would come very late, which might not align with Audi's timeline for confirming their second driver. This timing discrepancy could complicate Audi's plans if they wish to secure Lawson for their team. An alternative solution for Audi would be to buy Lawson out of his contract early. This strategy has precedent. Alpine took a similar approach to acquire Pierre Gasly. However, sources suggest that Red Bull will be reluctant to let Lawson go, given their significant investment in his development and the potential he has shown. The situation is further complicated by the potential fate of Daniel Ricciardo. If Ricciardo is dropped by Red Bull, it's understood that the Australian is unlikely to have a chance with Audi, who Liam Lawson have to compete with. To secure the V-carb seat at Red Bull, either Daniel Ricciardo or Yuki Tsunoda must vacate their position. Tsunoda has had a strong start to the season, making his continuation with the team likely, at least through 2025. Despite a challenging beginning to 2024, Ricciardo is gradually finding his form. This development is not ideal for Lawson, who is eager to break into F1 as soon as possible, with or without Red Bull's support. Audi has already signed Nico Hülkenberg for 2025 and is targeting Carlos Sainz for the second seat. However, Sainz is also exploring options with Williams and Alpine. Given this uncertainty, Audi is considering backup options, with Lawson being one of the primary candidates. If Red Bull retains Ricciardo, Lawson's path to Audi could become a more viable option, contingent on whether Audi can secure his services in a timely manner. Audi depends on Red Bull. Andreas Seidel, the Sauber CEO, has Liam Lawson on his radar, according to the Italian branch of motorsport.com. However, Audi cannot make a move yet. Contractually, Red Bull must notify Lawson by September if there is a place for him in 2025. Only then can he consider other options. Previously, Helmut Marko announced on behalf of Red Bull that Lawson is free to sign elsewhere if there is no permanent spot for him in the Red Bull teams next year. Marko recently indicated to the Austrian newspaper Kleine Zeitung that Red Bull plans to focus on younger drivers next year, with getting Lawson into one of their seats being a strong priority. The shareholders have made it known that Red Bull is a junior team, and we have to act accordingly, Marko said. The goal was that Ricciardo would be considered for Red Bull Racing with exceptional performances. That seat now belongs to Sergio Perez, so that plan is no longer valid. We have to put a young driver in there soon. That would be Liam Lawson. Ricciardo had ambitions to secure Red Bull's number 2 driver spot, currently occupied by Perez, for 2025. However, his consistency on the track has been an issue. While he impressed in Shanghai and Miami, he has not dominated his younger teammate, Yuki Tsunoda, who has outperformed Ricciardo in both qualifying and race day. Marko's comments come amidst reports that Audi could sign Lawson if they fail to secure Carlos Sainz as a teammate for Nico Hülkenberg. These comments also reflect a potential shift at Red Bull following the texting scandal involving team principal Christian Horner. Horner facilitated Ricciardo's return to the team and has refrained from publicly criticizing his performances this season. So, what do you think of Lawson's move to Audi in 2025? Comment below and subscribe for more.